Question: how can you trust the Bible when we only have copies? Today we are talking about the historical reliability of the Bible. And today we're actually going to do something a little different. Earlier this year, I co-led a breakout session at a conference where we talked about why we trust the Bible as the inspired word of God. And the part of that talk that I focused on was the historical reliability of the Bible. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to share my slides from that presentation with you as we talk through this. So the different thing we're doing today is having a little bit more visuals, and let me know in the comments if you appreciate this format. So, the historical reliability of the Bible. Okay. Confidence in the Bible through manuscript criticism. Here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to respond to a couple critiques that people get about the trustworthiness of the Bible. Critique number one is, how can you trust the Bible when we only have copies? And then critique number two is, how can you trust the Bible when it has so many errors? So we're going to address this in kind. Question: how can you trust the Bible when we only have copies? Now we're going to do the same thing, same context, but now we're going to say, instead of there only being one copy that's been preserved for a long time, after it was said, it was so important that 4 different people wrote it down. And so we don't have one copy, but we have 4 copies, all with the same types of damages. So what I want you to do is pause this video, take as much time as you need to figure out, based on these 4 copies, what the original must have said. All right, so if you did that, if you played along, then here's what you did. What you did is a process known as cross-corroboration. And that is basically you overlap the copies and you see where the copies overlaps are the same is where you say, okay, that is certainly correct. And where there's changes, then you go with the majority rule, right? And when you do that, you're doing exactly what historians do to figure out what original texts said. You can see how with this process of cross-corroboration, the more copies you have, the higher confidence you would have in whatever the original said. But if you only had the original, then you couldn't have any confidence in what it actually said because you don't know if it's been altered or not. So with one copy, we have no confidence. But the more copies we have, the higher confidence we get, which is why historians care a lot about source text. And what they want is as many pieces of source text, as many copies as possible. So let's talk about how many copies we have, because the goal is to have as many as possible. And for context, let's talk about how many copies we have of other ancient things from antiquity.